I'm Damian Bonazzoli of Snow Leopard Kung Fu and Tai Chi. With me is my assistant Bob. Today we're going to talk about an introduction to the method of pushing hands in Tai Chi practice. Pushing hands is often incorrectly described as Tai Chi sparring. Really though, the intent in push hands is not to deliver punches or kicks the way it is in conventional sparring. Rather, the intention is to cooperatively work with a training partner to develop an awareness of your own weight distribution, to develop good body mechanics, a sense of flow, rotating the waist and the trunk properly, motivating that rotation through the legs. It's also a method to develop an awareness of your partner's balance and your partner's strength. If your partner happens to be exerting force in a certain direction, you want to learn to be aware of that. And down the road, when push hands becomes somewhat more competitive and also more improvisational, you can exploit that weakness. Your partner's strength is his weakness, and you can exploit that weakness. For now, though, we recommend starting Tai Chi push hands as a very simple, flowing, and predictable exercise. So to start, Bob and I face each other, we bow to each other. We're going to match our leads. My right side is going to be Bob's right side forward. I place my right hand up. Bob has his right hand up. We're touching at the wrist. We're not pushing each other right now. There's no force here. Just enough presence to maintain contact. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to make sort of a circle. A horizontal circle on this plane here. It might look like our arms are actually moving, but the movement, again, comes up from the ground through our legs, and it's our torso that's really moving. Our arms really aren't moving much at all. I can take my hand here, pause, can take my hand here, open it up wide, and you'll see that the distance from my thumb to my wrist is approximately the span of my hand with my fingers spread wide. And that's going to remain approximately equal throughout the exercise. It might vary by an inch or two, of course. We don't want to be frozen. But for the most part, it's going to remain pretty equal. And what's going to happen is that I'm going to slow down for a moment. I'm going to push towards Bob's center. And instead of collapsing, or instead of resisting with strength, what Bob is going to do is he's just going to maintain his shape, but guide me off to the side. And then he's going to return by pushing towards my center. I'm not going to resist. I'm not going to collapse and be weak. I'm going to maintain my shape and guide Bob off to the side. As Bob turns to push me, his palm faces me now. He rotated his wrist so his palm faces me. I maintain shape, guide him off to the side. It's my turn to return. My palm rotates towards Bob, and using my legs, I push towards Bob's center, and Bob pushes towards me, and I push towards Bob. And again, I'm using this word push, but in truth, what I'm really doing is moving my shape, and then Bob is moving his shape. We're using essentially no muscular force in our arms. Nice, smooth, even circle pattern. And as we do this, I'm listening for any tension that Bob may be exerting. Bob's listening for any tension that I may be exerting. As we begin to get more comfortable, we can add the second hand. My palm goes to Bob's elbow. Bob's hand goes to my elbow. And so now this extra hand is sort of like an extra antenna, listening for any tension within Bob's structure, not just within his arms, but elsewhere in his structure. And also it's an extra means of controlling. if we were more competitive in what we're doing here, I'd be able to utilize this elbow to turn Bob into some kind of an armbar or whatever, to unbalance him, to break his structure in some fashion. But we're not doing that yet. So that's push hands phase one. Continuing on, if we get really, really comfortable with this one, we're going to add an added element, which is we're going to add a step, but we're not just going to start clumsily stepping or randomly stepping. What's going to happen is that as I begin to move towards Bob's center, I'm going to overwhelm Bob by exerting force intentionally now. I'm giving Bob a stimulus to be aware of. Force towards his elbow. Bob steps back, I step forward, and Bob brings his hand around. And now we're continuing to flow within the drill. But of course now each of us has our left side forward rather than our right. And when he's ready, he doesn't really tell me when he's going to do it, but Bob pressures my forearm, I step back, he steps forward, and we're back to right side. I pressure Bob's elbow, he brings his forearm underneath, completes the circle, and we continue the flow. Now we don't have to go one for one. I can step, overwhelming Bob, he absorbs. But we don't just strictly have to take turns. I overwhelm Bob and he steps back, then he overwhelms me and I step back. He can overwhelm me and then overwhelm me again. And we can kind of play respectfully at maybe catching each other off guard. So in time, the exercise becomes somewhat improvisational, but with a sense of structure, okay? So those are the first 3 steps of what can really help a beginning student learn push hands within the art of Tai Chi Chuan. When we finish, we resume our neutral stance, we bow to each other, showing respect to each other, also appreciation that our partner has taken the time to train with us. And from there, we resume our training, maybe working on form, Qigong, standing meditation, what have you. Once again, we are Snow Leopard Kung Fu and Tai Chi. Love to train with you here in beautiful Ormond Beach, Florida. Look us up on the web, snowleopardkungfu.com. Give us a ring, 386-256-5847. Thank you.